Hello, everybody. Hopefully, everybody's having a wonderful day. I'm just gonna make a quick video here for you guys today on the 317 rundown, and we want you to master pick one, pick three, 317 rundown today. Okay, so that way you have a better ideas and edge of how to maybe at least hit some numbers on these every time you play. I know sometimes we like to scramble three-digit numbers, trying to get the best combination to see if we can even hit the three numbers. Sometimes it might be end up with two numbers and one number different. Sometimes it might be you hit the number, but you have it the wrong combination. Each of these numbers that we have, sometimes when we play, that's what we end up with, right? So we just want to make sure we can make you better using some ideas that I have. All right, so this is a spreadsheet that I have. It's called the Pick 3 Rundown System. I built this to really educate my own self from the beginning, trying because most of the time I would be writing numbers down over and over and over and over. You might have a notebook with full of numbers. You might be trying to understand like, oh, this number came here, and how did this the number appear? So that's what one of the things that we like to show. But with this, I treat this as a roadmap. A lot of time people say pick three. So what they'll do is they'll just write down the number. They'll write down the number and then they'll do a rundown on it, right? So when you do a rundown, then it gives you all the whole thing. This is what it is. So if you were to enter 1, 2, 3 in this box, and you just hit this button, this 1, 2, 3 rundown appears, right? So now, if you look at the calculation here, one plus 3 is 4, 2 plus 1 is 3, and 3 plus 7 is 0, right? Or 3 plus 7 equals 10, which keeps the second digit for you. And it repeats down here. So this entire sheet, this is a 317 rundown here, and also another 317 rundown here. So what I did is I've combined three boxes into one big thing. The only reason why I did that was because I want to see both sides of each number. One side is I always use this as a flip, not a flip, but a mirror number, the main number, and the mirror number again. So that way you have both sides of the numbers. So that way if 1, 2, 3 hits, then let's say if the number was 1, 2, 3, and let's say your number that came out was 6, 7, 8, then you put back 1, 2, 3, right? So that's the way I see this number as well. Just think of it as a 3D. So this is the back number. So now, how are these numbers here connected to each other? Same thing here is how are these numbers connected to each other? So that's the way I see it. And when I show people stuff like this, it's just really just it connects. They connect both sides. So 747 came up here, 747's here, right? So how does this connect with this side of the group and this side of the group? Right, so that's the way I put this pick 317 system together. I mean, it comes with 5 sheets. I'm not going to really cover everything else. I mean, it's just really the story system here. If you put a number in here, it gives you the mirroring numbers, it gives you the flip numbers, it gives you all the full combinations of each number. It shares with your pairs, your sums, your root sums. I mean, all that stuff is inside of it already that's built in, so you don't have to keep writing it down or doing a calculation yourself. And then the temperature sheet, the temp sheet is what I call it, but it's a temperature sheet, how many times a number has come up. So it does account for you. This one has a 60-day draws. So then it gives you like each number, each digit, how many times that number hit. And let's say if 1, 2, 3 was the main number, how many time 1 came up, how many time 2 came up, and how many time 3 came up. You know, and the same thing is like if you run the cold, when's the last time, let's say the hot numbers are 6, 4, and 5. This is only in the first digit, so 6 came out 12 times, 4 came out 8 times, and 5 has come up 7 times. But then you see several other digits that are in the 7th time that they came up. So, but this gives you the idea. The cold numbers are the 0, 2, and 9. 0 came up 3 times. 2 only came up 3 times, and 9 came up 3 times. But the think about this is this last 60 days, right? 60 or the last 60 draws. All right, so that's where this thing is calculating everything else, and then the hot. The overdue numbers right now is number 3. This one says number 3 in the first digit side of it hasn't come up 15 days ago, right? That's the longest it's running since the 3 came up. This one says 0 hasn't come up since 12 days ago. The number 5, the number 5 hasn't come out 9 days ago. Same thing with the second digit is here. This is the second digit column or the rows. The hot numbers is 0, 4, 2, and then number 8 itself has come up 4 times, which is also a hot number. However, number 8 hasn't hit again since 31 days ago. And the third in the middle digit. 20 days ago is 7. And then over here, the third digit side of it, let's say if you were playing the 3, and let's say you're looking at this, the hot numbers are here, cold numbers, overdue numbers, right? So cold numbers, a lot of these cold numbers is also overdue 36 days, 26 days, 11 days. So these 3 numbers haven't been hitting for that long, okay? And then here's your trackers. This is where you track all your numbers. It automatically selects for you every time you update your data sheet. And it gives you the update on the right side is the front pair, back pair, outside pair. It's like the ones is a triple number, which already came up this year in Arizona, right? So, but like right here, 880 has came up, and the 808 has come up, but the 088 hasn't come up yet. So both of the front pair and the outside pair has came up, right? So that's 088. So let's say if you're playing the sheet and if you think it's going to be 0880 again, maybe play the 088 instead. So but that keeps you understanding where you're at. The same thing with the 515, the 551. They both came up already. So that has came up this year, right? So the sheet that I'm sharing with you from my side is in Arizona. But it's all over there. I mean, you can, and then this side of it, the last sheet is the data sheet where you enter all your numbers. You can just put enter numbers here and then just press the button up here. And that updates your rundowns and everything else, which brings the dates back into your main sheet, which is here. And then when you hit this button, it updates and pull all numbers and put it on here for you. Okay, so that way it makes your life easier. You don't have to keep typing, searching what your last number played, all these stuff. All right. Sorry, I have a like a weird voice this morning, but I'll get it through. Okay, so let's play some numbers today, okay? So I'm gonna pull some numbers here. So I'm gonna use Arizona for now, but I'll go ahead and jump into some different states as well, just to share with you like how does 317 can be used anywhere across the United States, anywhere there's a pick three game. So it's not just like from myself on the random side of it. So let's see, let me pull this in. Okay, so let's look at January. Let's go back to January. I don't know. Let's choose a number. I haven't pulled any numbers yet. All right, so let's try this. January the 4th, 267 to 811. So a single digit ran into a double digit, right? So 267 to 811, right? And that's the day that this number came up. All right, so what we'll do is what I do on my side is I look for make sure these numbers here is not a mirror number or it didn't play it as a flip number, right? So 881 is what number came up, right? So if you look at these, you can use the sum if you want, you can use the root if you want. These are all the pairs, but not anywhere do you see an 8-1 as a pair. You don't see anything that's an 8-1. Okay, but the secret root of the flip side is a 518, right? So we'll go into another video on that one of these days on the secret roots, how to play it. Those are pretty cool too. It's really interesting. All right, so but let's do this. So let's put this number in here. So we're gonna put 267, right? So the mirror of 267 is gonna be 712, 712, right? So what I like to do is always try to bring the number down into this box where I'm highlighting this. So let's make this blue. And then the mirror numbers is down here as well. All right, so what I'll do is I'll take this 267 into this box, right? So let's do that. So it's going to be 643,198, 198. There we go. So the number is right here. All right, so the next day, so the number came up on the, what was the date? The 5th is when it came up on. So what I'll do is, let's see. So the 5th is down here, right? So the 5th is down here. So let's highlight that yellow. So that's your date. So even though it says here, this is also the 5th here, but since it's in the teens, I played it off of the third row, right? So does anywhere in the 005. Sometimes I would play it this way. I will highlight the box, keep the date inside of it, and then based off of these, choose the numbers around it. And if you had done that, the 811 is right here, wrapped around the 05, right? So if we highlight that, and let's make it red, that's your number. But it's a date here, based off of this date, right? You can play it that way if you want. The other way around that I like to play too is when I play, let's see, I like to use the I like to use the 317 rundown itself. So I'll put 317, right? So this is the original 317 rundowns. Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna pick this off. I'm gonna open a notepad sheet real quick. Put here. I'm gonna do something really quick. Just give me a moment real quick and organizing this. Most people don't use this at all because everybody's game is different, right? So let me put this here. So this is our 317 rundown. So this is supposed to be a triple zeros. Let's go here and 000. This put this in the middle. Okay, so it's 317. Let's pull it a little bit. Okay, so this is your 317 rundown box. Okay, I'll just call it a box, and we'll just block it in to make it look easier to see. Okay, so when you play 317, sometimes a lot of these numbers is what's going to play in the area that you're going to be playing. Like if you play the date here, there's an 8-1 attached to it already, right? If you were played the 15th, it might be the 4 3s. If you were played, let's say the 25th, it might be the 9-2, right? So a lot of these, that's the way a lot of time it runs. So let's say if I was gonna play this here, let me just grade this back out really quick so we have a better picture. So sometimes what I do too is when there's a number of plays like this, since it's on played on the 5th, I would take this 405 and put it in this box here, right? So where we were at, so it'll be 881, right? 881, 336, 336, right? So now I highlight this box again right here, make this back to blue. So if I hit run, now your data is here, right? So your data is here, but look at all these now that you see 881, 818. Everything else is scattered and still attached to this 5. And where this number is going to go is going to go, it's going to go towards the 6. The 6 is the next day, and this is the date here. So 881 is attached to the 6, right? Or you can go downwards, 881. Here's the date. This is the same thing here. But why I created this one is since we're looking for the 405, That's going to be the 555, right? So this is the 5, this is the 5. Where's the other 5? Down here and here. So these are your 5s. So a lot of these they attach to the 881. See, this is the 881. This is one I was talking about because that's the way that numbers work. All right, so but that's sometimes I play it that way. It's kind of confusing a little bit. But I mean, just the way you play. I mean, a lot of times it's going to be attached to the date. Sometimes people also add, right? So if the number that came up was 267, so then you add 2 plus 6 plus 7, so it's 15, right? So 15 is here attached to this again, and the 15 goes this way, right? Now you got to go to the 16. The 16 is here. And then if you have any other 15s, this is a 16 as well. See, so now it's attached to the 8 because it's attached to the 1s itself. Because the next day is the 6th after the 5th. So that's the reason why it attaches to the 6th. Okay, so let's try the 881. So the 811, 366, 366. All right. So now the date on that one is going to be the 6th, and the next day's number came up as 416. So now we can go over here and look for 931. All right, so the 1, 3, so 881 is already it's already the number 9, it's 931. All right, sometimes you can do this too. Let me show you a trick. 931 is the main number, right? This is the pick three numbers, the rundown itself. 486. 486. All right, so I'm going to put this 931 in here in this box. So this is going to be a 317. 862. 862. So 9317 or 931 is your main number. So so we're gonna be playing. So when that number came up as an 881, the 416 should be attached to it somehow. 41414141. The six are way out here. It went up this way. See, this is the 1. It's going towards the 2. So the 2 is up here. So now 416 is going towards the 2. All right, so if you look back this way, the 2 is up here. Let's see, 4, 1. The other 6 is down here. This is the 3. So it attaches to the 1s to the 2s, right? Because the number that we're looking at is 931. But if you're played on the 6th, is the date of the game that you're playing. So let's highlight this here. And now it's going to go towards the 7, right? So 6 to the 7. 6 to the 7 goes back this way, right? So now there's probably going to be a number in there between. So the 6 is itself is 4, 1, and then the 6. 4, 1, and then the 6 going up this way. Because now it came from the 5 to the 6. 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7. See, 5, 6, 7. And here's the 8. The 8. So sometimes you cannot just block off the 5 to the 6 or 5, 6, 7. So let's say if you block off all the 7, it blocks off all the 8, all the 8. Still right goes in between. So, but this is just off the 317 chart itself, right? So just when you play, just narrow it down, right? Just narrow it down. So let's go to the next one. So let's see how 416 came up with 110. 110. So let's put 416, right? So 416 is the 486, right? So 961, 961. It's 416, 961, right? That's the mirroring numbers. See that mirroring numbers over here for the 9 is a 4, 1 is a 6, and then 6 is a 1. Okay, so we're going to take this here. We're going to put it in this box again. Let's see, let's put it down here. Let's keep it right here. So let's put this number in. So that would be the 892. I'm going to put in this box. 347, 347. Okay, there's your number. So let's highlight this. And then 416 is the 486. So somewhere on this thing, this is another cool thing that you can use too. Somewhere on this whole chart, the number 486 will be connected. See, 486, 486. So it connects here. 486. This is the 486 that we're looking at, right? So 486 attached to this is going to probably be our next number, right? So it's going to be 110. See, it's always going to be attached to this 486 because that's your number here from the 317 chart. It even pulls it around here. 110, 110. Even though the numbers came up here, is playing on the left side of the flipped numbers. If you didn't have this chart at all, as just if you just had this here, I mean, is there an area that you see on here? It might have been here for the 110, right? If you're just playing this by itself. But since you have a bigger picture now, it'll show you. Like even if you're just playing that 3-digit, the rundown for just the 3-digit itself. So let's say we find the 486 is down here, right? So let's say you ran that rundown by itself, and let's say you don't have this chart and you don't have this chart. Just avoid that. As a matter of fact, let me do this. Let's take it off. Let's take it off. So let's say you just have the 317 rundown right now, and all you do is you find this here, okay? And now you're looking for the 10, the number came up here. All right, this is your number. So let's fix this. 416. So it's not letting me do it because there's no numbers here. Okay, so it gives me the full rundown back, but let's delete that now. So now we go here. Okay, so now we're looking for the what did I say again? 486. 468 is right here. So what I would do is highlight all the 486s. 4, 6, 4, 6, 8, 8. Right, so these are all your 486 ones, 486s. So with this, it doesn't give you an option. It doesn't really give much. You know, if you would have brought the 486s down here, 480, but it still highlights everything from you. So here it is. See, this is your number that came up here. But the thing about it is we don't know which area to play. You know what I mean? And this is not, the 486 is not attached. I always look for where it's attached. So with that other chart, the 486, the 468 was all attached because the 110 came up here and the 416 is right here, the number. That's why it's that's why I'm don't get me wrong, I don't I play sometimes with just the chart by itself. Just this. But I'm not a big fan of it. I rather see the big picture versus just like the one-sided idea. You know what I mean? So 961. All right. So if you look at it here now, 486, that's where the number came up. Now you see the big picture, the 110, because that's where it's supposed to play. And if you play it over here, and if you look for, because the 4 is here, this is still attached, 486. 486 is attached here. So that's the reason why I highlighted this number, because they were attached here. So there's no 8 attached to it, so I'm not going to highlight it, right? So, but that's the way I see, I mean, when you play pick 3 too. So let's try another one. This is a cool one. So let's see. Let's try 640 on the 16. So let's put 640. This is probably gonna be a little bit hard one because the third digit is what I base it off on, and the third digit is gonna be all zeros. So we gotta look for all the zeros, right? So 195, 195, because a lot of times the zeros won't connect all together. So 0 here, 0 here, 0 here. Because this is what we're looking at is a 0 here. Because this is the third 0 is here, and it's also a 10. So this is what you can do too, is based off of the 10 is here. All right, so this is what's connecting right now. So if we play it, so the next day's number, yeah, this one's a little bit hard because it's not going to connect. But if you want to play, see, this is a 0 here, back to 0 up here, 0 here, 0, 0, and 0. Okay. But how do you find something out of this? I don't know if you even can, unless if you want to continue playing. So a lot of times when you play like this, and if any of these numbers don't connect, then try a different strategy. That's what I would recommend. But if I would have played this, and the way I would play it would be probably the date, right? So 640 came on the 16th, so I'll go to the 7. So the 7 is attached to the 0 here. So somewhere attached to the 0 will probably be the number that will come up. But that number for the next day is 366. See, not anywhere do you see a 366 attached. There's a 3, there's a 6, 3, 3. There's no 6 attached to anything. But then again, actually, we're supposed to be looking for the 17. So this is not the right area I'm looking at. So 17 is right here. This would be your 17. This middle column is the teens. Okay. So something attached to this is there a 6. There's a 6, but there's no 3 attached to the 17. Unless we flip it around and go here as a 17. 6, 3, 3, 6. This is over here. Look, it's way down here. There's your 366. All your 3s are here. All your 8s are here. Your 17 is in the same column as the 66. So there's a 17 here as well. 17, 17. But look, the only thing that you can really tell is the 2 zeros. It blocks the number in inside. So that's why I couldn't see it, because I missed a 0 down here. If I would have caught this, I would have caught my attention, but it's right here. It's between the 2 zeros, because the zeros are here. right? So, but that's how this one was kind of confusing a little bit. I just got to work on it, keep working on it. So let's see. Let's try a different number. Let's try the 22nd to the 23rd. 547 goes to 398. 547 398. 547 398 398. Okay. So now 547, so which is the one that ends in 7? So 317 is the one that ends in 7. So somewhere in this chart, let's see if we can find a 317 that's all attached together. So let's see, there's a 3, 7 right here, 317. Okay, 317. These aren't connected, these aren't connected. The only ones are these here. So let's see if 398 is attached to this 317 somewhere. So let's see, 317, 3. So it's going this way too. 317, 317. Okay, so let's use that. Yeah, somewhere there's there a 398 attached to this. So there's a 398 coming down this way. What about over here? 3, 9, but there's no 8. Unless if you change this 3 into an 8 yourself, like doing the mirror side, but I don't like doing that. So 317, before that should be the 6, 486. See, 486 is right here. So 486 came from 317. 6 to the 7. So sometimes these are all, it seems like they're out of order. Because if you would have played 317, it would have went to zeros, right? But look at this, there's all the zeros are right here. See, these are all the zeros. 3, 9, 8, 4, 6, 8. So it's like a box between it. 397. The 624 is below. 624. 624, 317 000 793 648. See how it goes back? All this is right here. 317. So, and attached to that should be your number. And I sure did play it this way, 398. Okay, so it's not going straight, but but it still shows back here. So let's do one more. Okay, so last one I'm going to do for the state of Arizona. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna search because I had a question. Somebody reached out the other day about it, and let me look for that really quick. Okay, so state of Virginia is where we're going right now. Virginia. Okay, so we're gonna look into state of Virginia, and they have a pick three for day night. So they have two draws. So the way I play pick three, if you ever play pick three across different states, because some have 2 day two number draws, or some days might be well, the way I like to play on anything, on any pick threes, is I keep the numbers the same. Meaning, like, let's say if it's day, I play the next day. Day, night, 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 night. Right? So I keep it the same. I don't go from day to night, day to night, day to night. Sometimes because each of these days has its own history. The night has its own history. So they're not going to be in line. Sometimes they may come in line, but I can't tell you how to play. This is this is your game that you play on your own. But I mean, that's the way I see it. All right, so we're gonna choose some number. Let's try February. Okay, let's try. I'm just picking a random number. Let's try February. I don't know. Let's try February the 2nd. All right, so 992. So we'll do the day. 992 that goes to 285. 992, 285. Okay, so 992 went to 285. 447. Okay, so this is 992. So now this is a double number. So, but we're still strategy still is going to work the same. 862. So we're going to look for any somewhere around this chart. We're going to find if 862. Okay, so here's an 862 that's connected, and is that the only one? 682. It's down here as well. 682. 862. So this 862 is over here, which is the same number here, right? Okay, so let's do this. So we're gonna be looking for somewhere attached to this 862 should be attached to the 285. But again, if you look at this 862 is already a combination of the 285 because 82 is part of this. Even though where it says 992 over here, the 2 is what we're playing off of, which is the, let's get rid of this, and we are picking the 862 from here. See, this 862 is what I'm trying to look for, right? So the 285 is right here already. 852 off of the 286. So this is the number that came up as the main number to win. 285, and it goes back over here as the 862. Okay, so that's the day, right? So that's the day that we're playing. The day of the, what did I say? February 992 to 285. Does this 992 also attach to 082? Yeah, right here. Okay, so it did play for the day to the night, right? So if I were to play the 8, so the date of that same day also came up with 082, then which went to 300. So let's see, 82537, 537. Okay, okay. So it's still the same thing. It's gonna be the 862. So we're gonna come down here and see if we can find the 862 that's attached. 82682 is right here. There's a 682 this way as well. The other 682 is down here, which this is what it is right here. 682, 682. So yeah. So these are all the 682s that are coming up, right? So the date, so which one is the real one? I will probably look at the date first, which the date on this is the 3rd, right? So I'll probably play closest to the 3rd here. So let's just make this one. This one's kind of out of the way. So this is the 3rd, your date. Okay, so we'll make that blue. So this is your date, and your 682 is here. The 3rd here as well. All right, so the 3rd. And guess what? I just highlighted the number that came up. 300. 300. 682 is here, 682 is here, but the 682 comes down from this side and also attached to the 682 over here as a straight number. 82. So, but that's the way this played, and always keep in mind, whatever the number, the 82, maybe you go to what's after 682, goes to the 3, right? So you gotta find 793. See what it came down here, 73793. Because after the 82 goes to 793. I should organize this real quick. So 000, then it's going to go to 931, 862, 793, 624, 555, 486, 317, 248, 179, and back to 0, right? So that's how it's supposed to come out as. So if these numbers were, if this number was here, and let's just switch this out. I'm gonna put it in here. This is how it's supposed to be organized, but it jumps around. Right, so if the date of the 8082 is the 2nd, so which is 862 here, right? 862. 862 coming down. The next one that should be 793. And that's where the 793 is down here. And the patch is the 3. All right, so we'll leave that. Let's just do the last one. I'm gonna do some. I gotta get to work. All right, so let's pick one more from state of Virginia. Let's do the 17 to the 18. Let's do both of these numbers. So 951 to 793. So 951, 793. Okay. So 951, 793. Oh, bro, what am I doing? 206. 206. So this is your number, but the number that we're looking is the 3rd number here, which is the 931. So 931. So somewhere down in this chart is going to be the 931 attached. See if we can find it. There's a 9, a 1, 9. So it's way down here. 931. So we just find 931 here. And then 862. Let's see if we can find the 862. 862 is going straight down here. All right, so I'm gonna try something here. So these are the two that we're gonna be using. So this has to go to this 862 somehow, right? So as we're looking at is 793 is the number. So there's a 3 right here. Look, 973 goes down this way. And look what it's doing. It's pulling to the 82 here because the 82 is over here. 82, even though the 6 is not part of it, but it's still pulling to the 862 because the number is coming from the 319, 913, 862. Because this number is your main number. It's a 931. This one really, is there a 862 attached to the main number? Or the main number is here. Am I doing this right? Oh, bro, I'm way off. I don't know what I'm playing. I made a mistake here. And somehow it still was working. 4. Let's try it again. Now the whole number is screwed up by one number. Let's see. That is funny. Okay, so let's look for, start again. 931. It's still gonna work out again, just watch. So where is 931? The only one I see is 931 is this way, going backwards. 931, 931 and 862. See, 862 is going straight here. So let's make this a different color. Make it orange so that way we don't. So 862, 931. So we're looking for 793. Is your 793? 93. But there's no 7. The 7's down here. The 973. Yeah, I don't see anything on this. There's no 9 attached to the 7-3 at all. There's a 3 attached to here, but the 7's on this side. The 7's down here. So this one didn't work out well at all. Plus I confused myself with this. But still 317 rundown. So let me try something here. Oh man, it's already time up. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna try something here real quick before I let you guys go. So let's put this 337 here. And I'm gonna highlight this because this is our number here. And then 931. All right, so that's the way it's supposed to be. 9 3. So 931 is here. And the 286 is here. Yeah, still doesn't come together at all. 93, there's no 937, 793 attached to, but the 93 is the main number. If it was a 317, let me see. So this is the 1. So let's go to the 264. So let me go back in. 264 is here. Yeah. Just trying to think of something, but then it's not gonna work. But yeah, the only ones that I'm seeing here is this that's still attached to the 93, still attached to the 931. No, there's not a 931. Hold on. Yeah, I thought it was 98. What am I doing? 93. Oh, it's 931 down here. Thought this one was at 91. I chose 91, the 8 side of it. See, it's the 93 here, still 39. There's no 7. All right. Done messing with this one. It's not gonna work. 647. Let's try it out. 647 to 736. 647 to 736. State of Virginia. Okay. 647 192. So let me bring this down here so that way I have a better picture of this number. So it's going to be 0, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8. Here's your number. It's a 7. And the 7 is the 317. So 317 is here. There should be another one coming down. The other 317 is down here, which should be right here. 317. Okay, so we're going to use both of these between this 763, 37. See, a lot of these when the number comes up, right? So the 7 is what we're looking at, and then we look at the 317, right? So the 7 is what we were looking at, which is the 317, right? So when you play the 317 and you write it out and look at there's a pair that comes off of that 317 already. So this next day's number went to 736, which all it did was really mirror the number on the 6 itself. So 376, right? It's your number right there. 317. It's attached to it already. All right. Well, I went over my time, so hopefully you guys have a wonderful day. Hope you enjoy this video. Sometimes I do confuse myself sometimes too, so but this is a lot easier of searching and a lot quicker understanding what I have here. Hopefully it makes more sense for you guys as well. But just keep continuing with what you're doing, play everything else that you need to play. Just stay consistent with what you do, and if you do play with money, make sure you just stay responsible and everything else as well. Okay. So you guys have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves and have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. Bye bye.